Your kind doesn't belong in cars like that. Yeah, those words really did come out of her mouth, dripping with the kind of poisonous silk only people born to HOA royalty seem to master. She stood there in her robe, making that call to 911 on my late wife's Mustang parked in my own garage like she was alerting the world to an international crime scene, not a guy keeping a memory alive. I watched red and blue lights flicker all over my driveway thinking, is this seriously my life now? Let me back up a sec. Because what started out as some petty bored lady harassment spun into something so rotten beneath this neighborhood's perfect surface I nearly didn't believe it myself. But before we get to how deep this rabbit hole goes, drop a comment. Will you tell me where you're watching from? Might need some moral support. 3 months earlier, I thought I'd finally found peace. Willow Creek Estates, man, it was everything the brochures promised. Lawns so green I swear they used Photoshop. Streets arched by ancient oaks houses painted in shades that sounded like boutique coffee orders. Storm cloud, gray almond cream, you get the idea. Every place had that just power-washed shine, and a garage big enough for 2.5 minivans, which is apparently the local standard for making it. It was the kind of neighborhood where people waved at each other every morning, where nobody locked their doors, where a widower and his teenage son could theoretically start over without every memory threatening to drag them under. That's what I wanted, boring predictability. Sawyer, my son, needed it more than I did after losing his mom. Good schools, safe streets, neighbors who didn't look at us with pity. A $500 HOA fee every month felt like a small price to pay for that illusion. So there we were that first Saturday, and the Mustang, Bridget's Mustang, was gleaming in the driveway, catching the sun like it was still in showroom condition. 67 GT, cherry red, the kind of car you dream about as a teenager but never think you'll own. Bridget somehow had found it for our 10th anniversary keys in a ridiculous bow, grinning like she'd just stolen the Hope Diamond. Now you have no excuse not to take me on road trips, she'd said. I still talk to that car. Some people visit graves. I talk to a Mustang. I was out there lost in the hum of memory and car wax when Sterling Winslow appeared. He always had this unreadable smile, a glance at the Mustang, a glance across the street like he was tallying up secrets. Careful standing out too much. He said real casual, then just walked away. That's the first time I felt it, the prickle. You ever have a moment where you just know you're being sized up? A couple hours later, a yellow envelope on my door. Violation notice. No signature, no postage. Official logo at the top. Preserving excellence. Since 2010. As if that meant something. The charge vehicle aesthetic noncompliance. Your vehicle, a red Mustang, violates HOA standards. The color is excessively vibrant. The vintage style does not align with our modern guidelines. 150 fine, 7 days to remedy. 7. I read it twice expecting a punchline. There wasn't one. I'd read the HOA handbook. All 47 pages. Not one word about car color or style, just fences, lawns, parking. Nothing about not looking like a scene from Bullet. So I call the HOA number. Of course, straight to voicemail, leave a message. We'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days. Write 3 to 5 days to answer a complaint about a 7-day violation. So I dig out the handbook, flipping through every rule. Still nothing. But as I stare at that violation notice, something stinks. Excessively vibrant isn't a rule. It's a feeling. Whose feeling? Why now? Through the window, I see her house across the street, the president's. Sibylle Lockhart. Met her once at a barbecue. Perfect hair, perfect smile, practiced friendliness. She asked about my job. When I told her, her eyes didn't change, they calculated. So I walk over, violation notice in hand. She greets me like I'm a lost dog. Chief Bridger. What a surprise, I hold up the paper. Got this today. Which regulation am I breaking exactly? She does the whole, let me get my glasses, act like she didn't sign the thing. Then she leans into her patient teacher voice. Well, we have to maintain standards. It's an upscale community. I point out 3 Porsches, 2 Teslas, a lifted truck, every one more visually distinctive than my Mustang. Her smile cracks just a hair. That car, she says, draws attention in a way that doesn't align with our standards. It's vintage. It's loud. It's a lot. Not about rules, about taste, and her taste ruled. So I dispute it. She goes cold. You can submit your appeal in writing. Board meets in 3 weeks. But your notice says I have 7 days. Yes, well, easier to simply comply, Chief. Meaning, know your place. I left, but not quietly. Back home, Sterling was watching from his window like he was grading my performance. The Mustang gleamed, Bridget's laughter echoing in my memory. "Looks like we're staying," I told the car. And that's when things really started. Next Monday, I took my old digital camera and walked the neighborhood. Not as the chief, just as a guy who knows how to build a case. I photographed everything: the canary yellow Porsche, the neon blue Tesla, the tricked-out truck. Decorative fountains above code fences, two tall boats peeking out from behind garages. All more non-compliant than my Mustang, none with yellow envelopes. And then I met Marlo Thorne. She saw me snapping photos outside her house and invited me in, kind eyes, tired smile like she's been carrying a weight for too long. Over coffee, she told me their story. Moved here for the schools, the first year was fine. Second year, the notices started: holiday lights too bright, lawn a quarter-inch too long, non-conforming decorations. Meanwhile, other families, other colors, no problem. 5 families of color in the neighborhood, every single one fined for things others got away with. The Johnsons got cited for a basketball hoop. The Patels for cooking smells, she said. "You see a pattern?" I did. This wasn't about a car, it was about control. About pushing out anyone who didn't fit Sabil's idea of community. Marlo warned me about Sterling too. He knows everything. People joke he's retired, but this is his job. It hit me, these people had perfected weaponizing the rules. I documented it all, every unfair fine, every instance of selective enforcement. Then a text from Sabil. "Would you like to join the HOA board?" "Maybe see things from our side," I replied with one word: declined. The next confrontation came sooner than I expected. I got home from work, badge on my belt, tired as hell, just wanting a quiet night, only to find some punk in my garage, hand on the Mustang like he owned it. Designer jeans, expensive watch tattoo peeking from his collar. Ronan Lockhart. Sabil's son. He made an offer: $30,000 for the car. "Everything's for sale," he said. But the real message was, "You don't fit. Let us help you fix that." When I refused, the threat got less subtle. "This car's not going to last long in this neighborhood. Accidents happen." He left swagger in every step. But I documented it all: time, date, threats against my kid, the whole 9 yards. Sawyer, sharp as ever, picked up on the tension. "Mom wouldn't want you to give up," he told me. "She'd want you to fight." And damn, he was right. But these people didn't want to fight. They wanted a show. So the 911 call came next, Sabil breathy and concerned, telling dispatch about a suspicious car. My own car. In my own driveway. I handled it by the book, got the incident report, had the responding officers record every detail. Sabil did her concerned citizen act for the neighbors. But everyone saw the show for what it was, an attempt to humiliate, to put me in my place. I started digging deeper into HOA financials, into Winslow Advisory LLC, a consulting company that raked in $600,000 a year from the HOA for services no one could define. The money trail led straight to Sterling, and when I confronted Marlo's husband, EMTT, the old treasure, it all poured out. Sterling and Sabil had been running a scam, using the HOA to funnel millions into their pockets, targeting anyone who questioned it, driving them out. EMTT handed over everything: contracts, invoices, emails. Turns out Willow Creek was just one of their marks. Sterling had similar operations in at least 4 other neighborhoods. Total takeover $10 million. Organized crime hiding in plain sight. And just when I was building my case, Ronan snapped. High and drunk, he smashed the Mustang with a baseball bat. I confronted him, restrained him, called the police. He ranted about Sterling fixing everything, made the mistake of implicating Sterling and Sabil right in front of the officers. Game over. That week the feds moved in. Sterling ran, but not far. He was arrested at the airport. Sabil tried to spin the story at an emergency HOA meeting, but I had the receipts. Projected every contract, every email. Residents stood up. People who'd been silenced for years found their voices. Sabil was arrested on the spot, finally facing justice. 3 months later, the neighborhood feels different. The Mustang's back, scarred but shining, battle-worn but beautiful. The new HOA president brought cookies to our door. Real cookies. My son and I sat in the garage, the setting sun glinting off the hood, breathing easier for the first time in years. You know, people ask if it was worth it. If standing up was worth all the trouble. Here's what I know. Some things you fight for: dignity, truth, justice, the memories that shape you. And, yeah, sometimes a 1967 Mustang. So let me ask you, what would you have done? When is it worth standing up? What's your line in the sand? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear your stories, your take on what's right, what's fair, what's worth fighting for. Because if enough of us stand up, maybe these bullies finally lose.